Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
This is the glorious one, Bobby Roode, and you're watching Going In Raw.
What's up, it's your girl, Sasha Banks, the legit boss, and you're watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendos, and Larson.
Also Cal.
And welcome to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to, found right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson, and also available wherever fine podcasts, it's going to be one of those days, are found. If you're a subscriber to us on the YouTube, make sure that notify bell, that button pressed. Here in YouTube, oh man, you think you're subscribed to a channel, that means you're going to get to watch their videos. Doesn't always work out that way. While I'm thinking about it, let's shout out some new patrons here before we move on. Like I said, I haven't said that yet. We're also on the Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. New patrons over the weekend: Carl Bodsworth, Carlito 243, Scott, the Hollow One, and Brian. Thank you. We got a bunch of tiers on the Patreon, all sorts of wonderful rewards associated with those tiers. And at the $20 tier, which I dare... Gosh darn it, it's one of those days.
Is
man.
it?
Yeah.
Man, are you good?
I'm fine. I'm just tired. I told you my youngest kid got us up way too early this morning, so I'm still in the process of waking up, even though I've been up for like 3.5 hours.
Wake up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That feels good.
There you go. There you go.
Oh, yeah. $20, dare I say, best value, $20 a month. Gets you the opportunity to be on Matt Chat each and every week. Send in your video or text questions. It also gets you Friendo Care Package. See graphic here if you're watching the video. You get a comic book, inside of which a story that can only be told in the page of the comic book.
Oh,
it would
awesome.
cost $5 billion to make this into a major motion picture or television miniseries. Even Netflix doesn't have enough money to make this. Couple stickers, three to be in fact, a postcard with our names on it, and a double-sided poster with Top-Notch, Super Best, and Mecha Santa on each side. You need to make a decision about who you're going to display. The correct answer, of course, is always Top-Notch, Super Best.
Nice.
The Going In Raw Observer says, Larson, get a coffee. I have had 2 cups of coffee this morning.
Yeah, just because you told me this morning you woke up
Early, like 5:30.
And the fact that like Raw goes on to 11.
Yeah.
And you only got maybe
I got about 6 hours sleep.
6 hours of sleep, which isn't too bad.
Most times I can do that, but then I'm having allergy issues. I'm just a mess today.
Yeah.
I'm a mess. So if I'm over here, I apologize.
Don't worry, I'll wake you up.
There you go.
I'll find a
I'm
way.
gonna sound like a Zool dog, which we'll get
Zool,
to
yes.
later. You pointed something out to me this morning that I did not know, and I'm happy to now know that the dog on Roman's chest on his body armor is not in fact Zool dog.
It's not the dog Zool from Ghostbusters.
It is
a cane Corso.
And you show me the picture, and that's what it is.
It has to be. It's the same exact dog. Kind of like a Mastiff.
Yeah.
It's like a Mastiff pit bull kind of breed. It's a big dog.
Big dog. Makes sense, but big dog. You get a cane Corso out there, it's going to be his yard.
It's a cane Corso. I know it is. It has to be.
Yes.
Totally. There's a couple funny little things in the show that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
That I don't know if people are kind of familiar with or they can catch, but I was cracking up because I know a lot of people compare Dana Brooke to a mom.
Yeah.
And she has
that tone in her voice.
She has a tone in that voice. But if she was a mom, she's probably read the book The Rainbow Fish. Because her gear looked just like the book Rainbow Fish.
Ember Moon pointed that out too on Twitter.
Yeah, no, really?
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm not familiar with the Rainbow Fish. What is Rainbow Fish?
The Rainbow Fish is how this fish has all these really colorful like dots. I don't know, coil where the fish, the flaky fish skin or whatever.
The scales.
Anyway, it's her gear looked just like the Rainbow Fish like skin or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So to me, I was cracking up. I'm like, that looks fun. And here's the thing. I substitute teach when I'm not pro wrestling. I've had to read this book a couple times to some young kids. And then I'm like, oh, look at that. She's got the rainbow
fish.
She's rainbow fish gear.
That's something else.
Yeah.
No, I saw Ember Moon pointing that out on Twitter. I was like,
She did. What'd she say? And
she said, I don't know if Dana Brooks read the rainbow fish, but her gear looked exactly like the rainbow fish.
I know. Crazy. And I didn't even see that. Ember Moon's she's a good friend of mine, so we think alike.
There you go.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Overall, what'd you think of the show, though?
It was okay. A little cartoony. Pretty cartoony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, but I will say, I'm gonna be biased towards the show, but also I'm gonna say this. I watched the first hour and a half of the show.
Yeah.
And then my internet on my laptop went out, so I had to wake up this morning. I did drink a Bang energy drink.
There you go.
And then I watched the
last
hour and a half of it, feeling pretty refreshed. I felt pretty good. So I was in a good mood watching Raw.
Good.
So I feel pretty. I don't feel bad about the show.
You didn't have to do the full endurance test till 11 o'clock.
No, and the thing is, like, the show, it airs 3 hours beforehand on the East Coast stream.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I'm like, if anything crazy happens, I'm going to find out before the show even starts.
Yeah, totally.
Nothing out of the ordinary really happened.
No.
So to me, it was like, oh, I'm just going to go to sleep because nothing. There wasn't anything that stood out to me a lot. So I slept fine. I woke up, watched the rest of Raw. It seemed like it was a good, okay, cartoony episode.
Yeah, cartoony is the right way to put it because there was a lot of stuff that was kind of over the top.
Yeah.
Only, like the previous week, we had the explosion. We had the first little bits of this Mike and Maria stuff, which would way far this time.
It just got so weird.
Yeah.
That got really weird.
The only real bit of intrigue, especially considering this is a go-home Raw before a pay-per-view, was the bit between Nikki Cross and Bayley after the Beat the Clock challenge. Now, I am a huge fan of Beat the Clock challenges.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
I think they're great. It's a different approach to telling a story in the ring. They don't do often enough, but at the same time, if they did too much, then I probably wouldn't like them because they do them all the time.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, Nikki Cross, we'll jump ahead here a little bit. Nikki Cross won Beat the Clock challenge. She got to choose a stipulation.
She handled the Beat the Clock challenge.
Yeah.
And that
she beat the Rainbow Fish.
She beat Rainbow Fish Dana Brooke.
So she said to Bayley, you don't know what it's like essentially to have a real friend. I do, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to choose a 2-on-1 handicap match with my stipulation for Extreme Rules, and I only hope that one day you have a friend like I do. Otherwise, reality is going to slap you in the face. Can they make it any more obvious, or at least raise the expectations anymore that Sasha's going to come back for Extreme Rules?
They're really like, you don't have a friend, and then nudge. I think it's pretty obvious that Sasha. Well, then again, you never know. They could elongate this type of thing out.
Yeah, they've been done to do that.
And they could keep saying that, and then you find out that
they wait till SummerSlam.
SummerSlam for Sasha to return.
Ever since Sasha took her leave following Mania, we've heard on May 23rd, I think, she reportedly had a meeting with Vince. After that, she did some work for the latest WB 2K video game. Most recently, she's been having a bit of a vacation in Japan. Just this morning, someone posted pictures of her training in Meiko Satomura's
cool. I didn't know that.
Gym, yeah.
She's a big fan of Japan and anime, so good for her.
So if she is going to return to be in Philadelphia for Extreme Rules, she's got to get on the plane like tomorrow.
Yeah.
To rest up, get over jet lag. Although I feel like at this juncture, like and maybe I'm off base on this. If you're in the WWE, you got to learn how to sleep like anywhere.
Yeah.
And so maybe she just sleeps on the plane, then gets off, and then, hey, let me go home and freshen up and take a quick nap. I'm good. I don't know.
I think they're so used to like that kind of stuff. Like when you saw R-Truth on the plane trying to get the 24/7 title, seems like everyone's got their routine set as far as how they sleep. And obviously it's a film segment, but I do feel like that they prepare really well to sleep on plane. I mean, they do so many red eyes. Like I remember I was hitting up one of them. I sent like Kalisto to like hang out after one of the Sacramento SmackDowns, and he's like, "Oh, I can't, man. I gotta go to I gotta take a red eye to wherever afterwards."
Yeah.
So that's what they do. They're used to it. They sleep on the plane constantly, and I'm sure she can handle that.
Yeah,
She's done it a zillion times.
Yeah, totally. I mean, the brutal travel schedule all the WWE wrestlers have to endure.
Yeah.
I'm sure their bodies get used to this kind of sleeping wherever. So, they could be doing a thing where they're setting expectations for her to show up, and she in fact shows up, or they could be doing the expectation swerve where the expectation is, oh man, they're really hammering home the idea that Sasha could be showing up at Extreme Rules, only for it not to happen.
Yeah.
Sort of like Heyman says early in the show, hey, this is a spoiler, Brock's going to cash in. But then again, I've said that a number of times. I have the equity that if I want to swerve you, I can swerve you.
Yeah.
They could be doing something comparable.
That's
with
WWE in a nutshell.
I know.
We could swerve you if we want, but it doesn't mean we have to. But then again, we could.
We could.
Well, with that logic, sure.
Yeah,
We can do anything.
we could swerve you, or we couldn't.
We could.
It's up to us.
Yeah.
Whether we want to do it today. So with that said, all in all, decent show.
It's a little cartoony.
Yeah, cartoonish. It just didn't feel like a whole lot, in terms of storyline progression, a whole lot happened. At least the show kicked off with not talking. It kicked off with the match. We went right into what I thought was probably going to be the main event. Becky and Seth teaming up in a mixed tag match to take on Andrade and Zelina Vega. And then they decided this was a elimination tag match, which made no sense.
Yeah, I did not like. At first, I'm like, okay, elimination. Boom, Zelina gets out pretty quickly with the disarmer, and then I'm like, okay, so does Becky? Is it now a handicap match? Like, what? So do they both just hang on the ringside like that?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I didn't. If it did, like, let's say Seth got pinned by Andrade, then they both would be out.
Yeah,
and then Becky could then do the disarmer on Zelina, and then they win.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
like,
weird. It's weird.
That was kind of some really funky booking.
Yeah, I know they're trying to shoehorn as many commercial breaks into matches without interrupting the action. But if they had kind of flip-flopped this, where this was a 2 out of 3 falls tag match, and then the 6-man tag match that happened later on with the Revival and Elias against the Usos and Miz, if that had been elimination, that would have made a lot more sense.
That would have made way more sense.
A ton more sense.
Because then you have, it's 3-on-3. You can do eliminations. And then what happened anyway? Elias took his ball and left.
Yeah.
Like, what? They should have just made that the elimination. And then then the Becky and Seth versus Andrade match.
Yeah.
The 2 out of 3. But the way they did that, it confused. At first, I'm like, okay, well, I guess Becky's still in the tag. And it's like, no, she's not. Zelina's on the floor, but then Becky's on the corner on the apron.
Yeah, like she can't get tagged in. They don't do.
So what's gonna happen when she tags in? She just.
I know.
Andrade can take a break.
I know.
Something?
Within the first 5 minutes of Raw, it's like they made Becky superfluous in this match. Like there's no point to her being out there really in terms of the action in the ring.
Yeah.
And like she's arguably your top star on Raw, you can make the case.
Yeah.
And you essentially eliminate her from the storyline as it plays out in the ring. I understand what happened afterwards as far as the ringside business.
I mean,
but it's like people just want to see Becky fight, and they seemingly do everything they can to keep that not the case. So you mentioned Zelina, her and Becky in the ring. It takes a matter of a minute or two for Zelina to get put in disarmor. She taps out. Although she did muster some offense.
She had some stuff in there, and then you could see Seth like, "Oh no, come on, Becky, please." He has that face. He was doing geeky Seth face. Oh, don't lose, Oh, my Becky.
So Zelina taps. So she is eliminated, and based on the nature of a mixed tag match, Becky is also eliminated.
Yeah.
And she sees Lacey Evans in the crowd right behind the barricade, maybe like 2 rows deep. Becky goes after her. They start brawling in the crowd. Seth gets in there and separates them. Again, people want to see Becky fight. Becky's not in this match anymore. If she wants to lay hands,
let her.
Slap some heads.
Yeah.
Let her.
Dude.
Let her. That's what she wants to do. That's what the people want to see. Anyways, back to essentially a 1-on-1 match between Seth and Andrade. Seth is pushed off the top rope. You mentioned that.
Oh, that was so. The way that Andrade hooked his leg and then just hits the double stomp while putting Seth in the trio woe. That's the best double stomp I've seen in the trio woe.
Yeah.
Like, it was smooth. Andrade is so smooth.
He's smooth. He's fast.
He's quick.
It took Del Rio a day and a half to do the same thing.
I know.
a different spot, though, Seth gets pushed off the top rope. Zelina lays him out with a Ronda ringside. Then Becky comes over and starts beating on Vega. And then Becky, Seth comes up to Becky and he's like, hey, slow down. I don't want to see you fight, despite everybody else in the arena wanting to see that.
Yeah.
Becky sees Andrade charging from behind Seth, pushes Seth out of the way. Andrade lays out Becky. Zelina goes for another Hurricane Rana on Seth. Rollins catches her. Becky gets up, hits a drop kick.
I love that spot.
That was pretty cool.
That was really, and that because that reminded me of when Zelina did the same thing to Apollo Crews. She weighs 100 pounds. Apollo weighs 250 pounds. How can she fling him like that? Seth weighs 220. He caught her, and then that I really liked because it's there's no way. Just I didn't.
Well, also he's learning. Like the first time he got ronned.
Yeah.
Second time he's like, oh no.
Forget this.
No.
She did her Rana was just like the way Kalisto does it.
Yeah.
Off the knees into pretty much giving yourself like a DDT on the floor.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, I wonder if she was inspired by Kalisto.
Oh, it could be.
Like one of the producers gave her that idea.
That's cool. And then back in the ring, Seth hits a stomp on Andrade. Sethy, I should just call him that. Seth and Becky win. They go up the ramp. They're kind of celebrating. And then Baron runs down the ramp, lays out Seth. And then Becky steps up to Baron, gets in his face, starts hitting him with some forearms. And then Lacey Evans teleports out of nowhere, seemingly. And then sucker punches Becky with a woman's right, thus guaranteeing, since Baron and Lacey stood tall to end the segment, what does that mean in terms of math? Sethy goes over. Goes over at Extreme Rules. Guaranteed.
That booking style. Whenever whoever's last standing right before the pay-per-view, or
I think it's 65% accurate is what
I would say. More than that.
I would think so too, but I think I think Cody Miles or he at least linked us as somebody who actually did a bit of a study. I don't know how large the sample size was, but I think it was for half a year. Well, the thing that we saw was just who won the match prior to pay-per-view, not who stood tall, because that's different math. But still, I think it's 65%.
It's funny. It's just they could, if they want to make this pay-per-view interesting, let's say somehow they win, Corbin, and the next thing you know, Brock cashes in and just beats the hell out of Corbin and then takes the...
Well, then you have Brock as top face in the company because he beat the hell out of Baron Corbin.
Well, that's what would happen. So it's if they're smart, they please keep the titles on Seth and Becky.
Yes.
Because not to knock Corbin and Lacey, they're just not title holders.
No, I mean you can knock Baron. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to. I know Baron, but I will say that
I don't know. You have to do it personally. He's not.
Corbin, you can't hold the title.
You're not Universal Championship material to save your career, Baron Corbin.
Unfortunately, yeah. So I hope they just keep.
There's no way Baron's gonna be Universal Champion.
I know it just doesn't feel
right. The next
right.
5 years,
he needs to be with Shane.
Yeah.
And take Drew and switch. Just switch spots.
Swap those roles, and if it's Drew and Lacey taking on,
that'd be great.
That would be money.
That looks
do Drew and I don't know who else. They should have done Drew and Nikki Cross.
That would have been kind of... Oh, yeah.
How awesome would that be?
That would have been cool.
Like it's Seth and Becky. That would have been money.
That would have been sweet.
That would have been money. Although I feel like if Seth was in this... Drew was in this feud, they wouldn't be doing this mixed tag thing at all.
No. They wouldn't, yeah. But
yeah.
They're really writing this Seth and Becky stuff. They're they're a couple? We need to write about them.
I know. It's such good shit.
It's so good.
You're a public romance now. It's who you are. After that, we had Baron and Lacey backstage. Bear's like, hey, those lovebirds, we're gonna beat them because what we have is strictly professional. Love stinks.
Just like that song. Yeah. Love stinks.
Shouting out Jay Giles' band.
Yeah. First thing I was like, I guess Corbin was watching The Wedding Singer the other night. That was the first thing that came to my head. Love stinks.
There was a movie called Love Stinks. I can't remember. Was that Pauly Shore that was in that?
Oh, God, I have no idea.
I don't remember.
There's not a lot of movies I want to watch with Pauly Shore in it.
No.
Unless as a kid I did watch a lot of Biodome.
Yeah, it was Pauly Shore. Oh, it was Bridget Wilson, Fred Stewart. Oh, and Bill Bellamy.
Oh, and the movie Love Stinks.
Yeah, I'm thinking of some other Pauly Shore
I
romance.
mean, yeah.
I don't know why he'd be in a romantic movie anyway. So, and then Paul Heyman comes down. He drops a promo saying, here's a guarantee, here's a spoiler. Brock's going to show up with Extreme Rules and cash in on either Seth or Kofi, and he'll be champion. But I've done this often enough. I have the equity that if I want to pull a swerve on you, I could do that. You don't know. Maybe I'm legit. Maybe I'm just fooling y'all. You have to wait and watch Extreme Rules.
Yeah, I will say if Brock, I just thought of this. If Brock tried to cash in on Kofi, how great if Brock was trying to beat the hell out of Kofi, and the next thing you see Samoa Joe just choke him out.
Oh, that'd be great.
And just toss him into the barricade, or just give him an Inagi into the into the table. Or Inagi.
Oh man, that'd be
that'd be great. Brock comes out doing a little boombox dance, tries to cash in on Kofi, and all of a sudden you just see Samoa Joe and the New Day just beat the hell out of him.
That'd be great.
That's what I want to see.
After that, we had an extended video recap package for the Braun Bob Lashley incident on Raw last week with all the explosions and such. After that, Shane and Drew are backstage. They run into Tony the Garbage Man, taking out the trash in the arena, and they ask him, "Hey, do you want to be Roman's tag team partner?" So this is kind of a running thing throughout the rest of the episode where they would go up to people working in the venue that evening and asking if they wanted to be Roman's tag team partner. After that, 6-man tag team action.
Did you hear Michael Cole say this dude?
No.
He called the garbage man dude.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
I was like, we couldn't use that word in developmental. They said no to us.
Really?
We couldn't use dude in promos. So that was the first thing that came to my head. I'm like, well, I've always wanted to say dude. And they never let us say dude.
Why not?
It was a weird thing. We're not allowed to say dude. So Michael Cole said dude. I'm like, what? When did they change?
Times are changing.
That made me so mad. He's like this dude. And I'm like, well, Cole says dude now? I want to say dude. The dumpster dude?
Trying to think of another a character. Like Matt Riddle is the obvious one, but he says bro instead of dude.
He says bro. The only time I've heard dude being said on the microphone was when you have Roman says I'm the guy.
Yeah.
You have Seth says I'm the man.
Yeah.
And then Dean Ambrose said I'm the dude.
Oh.
And then the crowd started chanting dude.
Yeah.
And he goes, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So he was almost going to be the dude.
The dude.
But then Mike Cole called the garbage guy dude.
That's funny.
I was like, what?
So we had a 6-man tag match, Revival and Elias taking on the Usos and the Miz. Beforehand, Usos had a promo. They're pretty confident they're going to beat the Revival at Extreme Rules. This was a fun match. Even like the opening tag match, the mixed tag match was fun. There's some creative and interesting spots.
Yeah.
But they really should have swapped the stipulations on this drop.
I know, best... Right when they said best 2 out of 3s, I was like, oh, we got ourselves a commercial break. Should have been elimination.
I know.
They really should have. Because then what actually happens during the match is Elias does a really funky scoop slam throw.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he's running away.
He's hightailing it.
He's hightailing out. And then he looked really tired as he was getting chased by the Miz. I'm like, man, he's blown up for some reason.
He had to stop on the ramp.
He had to stop on the ramp because he's blown up. And then you just see Miz what are you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on? And then Elias is like, I'm out of here. Bye.
Cue commercial break.
And then next thing you know, distraction out of nowhere. They
Shatter Machine
by the Revival.
Oh, that's when the commercial break happened.
Yeah, then the commercial break hit after that.
And then pretty soon after you come back from commercial, the Miz hits Dawson with a skull-crushing finale after one of the Usos kicked Dawson. And then pretty quickly after that, Jey Uso hits the top rope splash on Scott Dawson for the win. Again, if the math holds true, Usos won here. They will not win Extreme Rules.
Man, there was... I liked seeing the Revival. When Elias left, whatever. Mm-hmm. But seeing the Revival work, do their thing, it's so good. And there's so many little things that you can't really tell that Scott and Dash do, but they're great. And then just the way that Scott can throw a punch, the way that they move around and work, they're superb.
They're really good.
Yeah.
What do you think of their new shirt, the yellow one that says?
It looks like I don't really like it.
Yeah.
Because the first thing I thought of was like, man, that kind of looks like, when you go on an airplane and you look at like the safety ad, and how like the people are drawn in the safety ad.
Yeah,
they look like they can't, like they were drawn like the safety ad or something out of a Highlight Kids magazine.
Yeah, I can see that. I kind of liked it.
Yeah,
it's because it's because I think Scott Dawson put a tweet about it.
He did. He
it's like
tweeted
something straight out of
Instagram.
the '80s, which is like, okay, I appreciate the aesthetic.
Yeah, it reminded me of something out of like the Highlights magazine, or like something out of an airplane safety manual.
Totally.
But it's just funny because like they're wearing their trunks and they're not wearing pants. So if someone doesn't understand what,
it's like, why do you got to share with a couple guys in their underwear?
A couple guys in their exactly. In their
and underneath it says what, top guys doing top guy things.
Yeah,
it's like, well, what does that mean? Well, they're the top
guys.
We're
top guys. Top guys things. That's a Scott Dawson.
The issue is that shirt's going to be on like basically sandpaper. Like the quality of WWE shirt is so lousy.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be on the weathered kind of like the 50-50 cotton poly shirts.
Yeah.
That was the thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to do it, go all the way with it.
I know, little faded too. Yeah, man.
A little bleached out with the color just because it seems old. Mm-hmm. But they're not going to do that. It's going to be on the damn cardboard shirts. It's probably going to be the crappy iron-on stuff, too, not silkscreen.
Yep.
After that, we had a Drake Maverick and Renee Michelle, video package highlighting their quote-unquote honeymoon in Orlando, where they live. So they're at Universal Studios, all sorts of pictures where Drake is taking pictures with his new bride, holding the 24/7 title in front of her face. It's all pretty funny.
They did a great little reel of like all that. And that's all, they filmed it all, too. Mm-hmm. And it's awesome that they did all the filming and they took all the stuff that they filmed and they made in like a little like highlight thing.
It was great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Those guys are really doing great stuff.
Oh, yeah, they are.
It's cool because like Renee Michelle, she is a wrestler, so she's a worker, and like she was in the Mae Young Classic. I was listening to Saw Monster, and he pointed out that she was discovered by Gilbert.
Oh.
She like went to a show, watched, and Gilbert approached her and be like, "Hey, do you want to be a pro wrestler?" And she said, "Sure enough." So that's where she got her start. So she got trained by Gilbert.
Huh. So she's sitting on a road case. The road case next to her opens up. Drake comes out. She's still upset they haven't had a real honeymoon. And he says, well, okay, once things kind of quiet down, we'll go to a real honeymoon somewhere. And she goes, where? I don't know. And she goes, well, once that real honeymoon happens, then we can consummate our marriage.
Yeah, they want to do some dirty. He wanted to do some dirty in the crate.
Road case. Yeah, man. Drake screams, I'm going to get it on with my wife after trying to be quiet. So the loser locker room apparently hears that. They come running, gives chase. Drake flees. Next, we had another little bit where Shane and Drew walk up to a beer vendor and ask him, do you want to be Roman Reigns' tag team partner tonight? And beer in whatever arena that is in Newark, New Jersey is damn expensive.
$15 for a cup?
Probably for Bud Light.
That made me mad. First time I'm like, what? Because it said alcohol compliance on his shirt.
Yeah.
And then they're explaining to him, and he's like, oh, yeah, sure, And then it's $15 for a cup of beer. Forget that.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink
I know it's expensive to live in the New York City area, but wow. Really? That's a bridge too far, man.
Yeah, that's to me, that kind of like put a bad taste in my mouth. How dare you charge that much money for a cup of beer?
What would be the worst taste in your mouth? A Bud Light or the cost of said Bud Light?
The cost?
Yeah.
Said Bud Light.
Like if it was a $5 Bud Light, I'd be like, oh, this is not bad.
Because what if like you're carrying the cup and it's going to be crowded in the arena? You spill your beer.
I know.
And a lot of the time when they fill it up, they go over like too high to the top.
The head goes over the rim of the cup.
Yeah.
So it's a good, like, I appreciate they want to give you your money's worth because you're spending an arm and a leg for a damn cup of beer. That being said, they make it because they pour over the top.
Yeah.
That you're going to lose some, so you're not getting your money's worth. I appreciate the sentiment.
And since that, like those cups and the beer, I'm sure it loses the. It probably tastes really flat too.
Yeah, the carbonation a little bit.
The carbonation's out.
You know what they need to do? I have an idea. So when you go and you get like an icy.
Yeah.
So you fill your cup up, and they have those dome lids.
Yeah.
You put on.
Yeah.
So they should do that because then they get the head over the rim of the cup. You put the dome lid on there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
To keep it safe while you're walking through the arena.
That'd be perfect.
And then you have a little sippy cup hole in the top. You just drink out of there if you want to.
I'm the type of dude that's like when he takes the dome cup off, like it's like it's hard to peel it off or whatever.
Yeah,
and
just splash beer everywhere.
Crap. Yeah. That's a good idea, though.
We need they just need an apparatus on top where you can drink out of the dome lid.
Well, you can't use a straw and drink beer. That's like
I've never done that.
And it's like shunned upon. You can do like certain alcohol drinks with a straw.
Totally.
You know, like a margarita or something. But yeah, not.
What about ice and beer? Yay or nay?
I've never done. I don't
think I've ever done that either.
I've never done that.
If I want a beer and it's not cold, I stick it in the freezer for a few minutes.
Exactly. You get the mug that's like all you pour it in there, and then you see how the condensation.
Totally, yeah, that works too.
But yeah, the beer alcohol compliance guy.
I wonder why you can't drink beer with a straw. I wonder why that's shunned upon. Is it like you're not really drinking it?
Drink the man like this.
I know.
Manly.
Oh, you don't have to shotgun every beer.
Yeah.
Next we had Rey Mysterio. He comes down the ring. He drops a promo saying he was really upset how he had to drop that U.S. title. But he's back. He beat the doctor's expectations. He's back ahead of schedule.
Really ahead of schedule.
And he's there to issue an open challenge. Anybody in the back that wants to fight Rey Mysterio, here's your chance. Bob Lashley is one who answers, and Rey has a look on his face like, oh shit, I didn't expect Bob Lashley to answer my open challenge. And despite the fact that Rey opened the match with a flurry of offense, culminating in a 619, he goes for a splash. He is caught by Bob Lashley, and Lashley drops him with like a nasty looking STO. Flatliner.
Yeah, I was like looking at that. It's like a reverse backdrop.
Yeah,
he did really well.
Yeah,
that was sweet.
And after that, Bob Lashley hits the spear for the win. It's like 90 seconds maybe. And then Lashley tosses Rey out of the ring, grabs him by the mask, drags him up the ramp, picks him up like military press style, threatens to toss Rey through the LED board. Lashley actually did a pretty good job of he pulls Rey up the ramp, looks at the LED board, looks at Rey, looks at the LED board, looks at Rey, picks him up, and then one ref's like, no, don't do it, Bob.
Dan Angler came out, no, don't do it.
Don't do it, Bob.
Rudy Charles from Impact Entertainment.
So Bob puts him down and is like, no, I'm going to pick him up again.
Yeah.
By that point, there's 3 refs out there.
You got Angler, you got Sean Bennett. I forget the other one's name.
Yeah. So they're all standing in a row. So rather than throw Rey through the LED board, he just throws him on top of the refs.
They caught him pretty good, though.
Yeah.
It was a gentle fall.
Yeah. Then Lashley goes over to commentary, grabs a live mic, and drops a promo saying, Braun, last man standing at Extreme Rules. I'm going to be last man standing.
He almost had a really good promo. He was so close.
It just needed a better punctuation at the end.
Yeah. That's like first thing I noticed was I'm sure his adrenaline's pumping.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, I was the last man standing last week. And then
he was going to say, I was the first out of the hospital last week.
Yeah. And then what cracked me up is like, I was thinking of funny, like the way Bobby Lashley last week was the last man standing. And then this Sunday, he's in a last man standing match. Lass and Lashley kind of sound, they sound very similar.
Yeah.
But last time Lashley was in the ring, he was the last man standing.
Oh, man, that's a tongue twister.
But yeah, that's like when he started his promo, I'm like, man, like he could have stopped and like took his time to say it. Like you said, a little bit more punctuation.
Yeah.
Like last week, I was the last man standing. Just something, but it was close. I'm like,
it was close.
Because like you hear about his impact when he was a heel and he did really good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, he's almost there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was close. I'm like, come on, Lashley.
There really wasn't that memorable line to close it either. He just kind of ended.
Yeah.
After that, we had Charlie Caruso. She intercepts the club before they go into AJ's locker room. And she asked AJ to provide some sort of explanation for why the club is back together. And he says, I don't owe you any explanation. And they go in the locker room.
Get out of my face.
Get out of my face.
Get out of my face.
After that, we had No Way Jose, who's rocking the camo pants these days.
Yep.
Taking on Cesaro. I guess if Cesaro's going to be Aleister Black's opponent as reported or rumored, they got to have him look strong going into that match because he tapped out Jose pretty damn quick with the sharpshooter.
That was a dude that looked like a good that sharpshooter looked really good. And he flowed into it well because he started doing the swing.
Yeah.
And then boom, stopped, didn't swing him a lot to get the fans to count. Hits the sharpshooter. Made it look really nice and tight, man.
Yeah.
Tap. I wish they would explain why No Way Jose is wearing the camo pants.
Yeah, maybe they do a main event.
I hope. I'm curious because I know he has a military background. He was in the Air Force.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious why they don't bring that up. You know, he's switching up his look to harbor back memories of when he was in the military
days. Yeah.
But they didn't do that. That kind of bummed me out.
Yeah, I don't know why. There's a lot of things that happen that with really no explanation.
Let's just do it.
Yeah, they just do it. Next, we had the Street Profits backstage. Their role this week was to try to sell Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
And I love the Street Profits. I think they got a ton of charisma, a ton of personality, and I don't think they did a bad job at this. They were entertaining.
Yeah.
They should be doing something more impactful than trying to sell a pay-per-view.
Yeah. It bugs me because I see a lot of people saying they're done, their run is done, all this stuff. The whole time I'm thinking of, man, I wish I was around to see what they were doing promo class, because I can imagine it was just like this. Mm-hmm. And I guess the purpose of them cutting the promo doesn't make a lot of sense, because, like, why are they on the show to just cutting promos? Because now they're just trying to hype up a show. Mm-hmm. And I know why they have the Street Profits there is because they're relatable to kids. The kids find them to be cool. Yeah. So their theme is, we'll have the Street Profits there to, to promote this pay-per-view. Maybe they'll get the kids that are already going to watch the pay-per-view interested in it. I don't know. I didn't mind it. And then, I don't want them to be the Statler and Waldorf of, WWE from the Muppets. Yeah. I want to see them do something. But, they're all about that smoke.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
I don't know. I find them extremely entertaining.
Oh, I do too. So, I just wish they were doing something with a little more substance.
Yeah, and I know people are saying, they're already buried. They're having him do this stuff.
I mean, if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, them trying to sell a pay-per-view is actually a pretty important role.
Yeah, that's not bad. They're trying to get viewers.
Exactly.
And you know what? I like their logo. Their logo looks like something like a cool. I love the logo of Street Profits. Yeah. I can see that not being like affiliated with like WWE, like just a regular brand. Yeah. I think that's cool.
Yes, it's unreasonably well designed for something to come out of the WWE.
Yeah, exactly.
The creative department, because usually most of the logos that come out of there are garbage.
Yeah.
I hope they start selling the sweatshirts, the hoodies, because I really like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I want to get a hat.
Next, we had Mike and Maria Kanellis backstage. Mike walks in. He's bringing Maria flowers. Says, "I love you." I kind of was taken by surprise last week. I'm really excited to be a dad again. And they start doing this. I love you. I love you more. I love you. No, I love you more. No, I love you more. No, I love you. And then Maria says ice cream. And Mike says, ice cream? Yeah, and pickles. Ice cream, pickles. Yeah, I want ice cream and pickles. Get it for me. And Mike's like, okay, I'll get it for you. So he walks off frame, and Maria says, what kind of man taps up to a woman?
This whole thing was weird. I didn't like it. I did not like this.
I liked the second segment even less.
Yeah. Man, Mike, what did you do in a past life to make you deserve this?
It's turned into some Maury Povich stuff.
Oh, it's getting weird.
Next, oh man, one of these wrestling tropes that I really love: split screen interviews. It was Bayley and Nikki Cross, a split screen interview. These never work because the two people don't get to feed off each other. There's been one split screen interview in recent memory that I thought was really good. That was Austin Aries and Neville. But those two guys are just both really great on the mic. Yeah. So unless you have like two magicians on the mic, it's hard for there to be any chemistry. So basically, there's a little bit of trash talk back and forth. They talk about the Beat the Clock challenge that's coming up. Winner chooses the stipulation for the SmackDown Women's title match, Extreme Rules. And the opponents for each woman are named. Bayley's going to take on Sarah Logan. And after that, Nikki Cross is going to take on the Rainbow Fish, Dana Brooke.
Rainbow Fish.
That would happen later in the evening.
Yep.
Next, Carmella and R-Truth are backstage. They're looking all over the place for Drake Maverick. Eventually, Drake runs by. Loser locker room follows. And then Drake's like, all right, come on, let's go. Carmella hops on his back, but rather than chase Loser's locker room, they go the opposite direction through the corridors of the arena. After that squash match, we had the War Raiders taking on Colin and Devin Justin. This was, as you would expect, very short. Hanson hits his top rope splash, goes for the pin, but pulls I don't know who was Colin and Devin, pulls the dude up at 2, and then Rowan pins, I think, the other dude. No, same dude. After the Viking experience, the pop-up power slam. Then Drake runs into the ring. Loser locker room gives chase. Some of them get in the ring. War Raiders lay out a few people. There's a stare down between War Raiders and R-Truth, while Drake flees back through the crowd, and eventually Truth and Carmella chase after him.
Jeez, man. Eric hit some cool stuff in this match.
Man, he's really good.
He is so... And, like, he's unassumingly strong for how he looks.
Yeah.
Because he's not, like, the most... He's not jacked or ripped, but, like, he's just a man.
That power slam, powerbomb combo always gets you, man.
He did something where he did a sidewalk slam into a backbreaker, and then gut wrenched him up into a powerbomb.
Yeah.
Like... I don't care. That guy wasn't like a small guy. Both those guys weren't small by any means. They're, decent sized dudes. So for him just to do that, I'm like, geez,
yeah, he's super strong,
just
man.
Naturally really strong.
Yeah.
And then you see Ivar Hansen, and then he pulls him up, and then he must have like solid knees to do all that stuff that he does.
I know.
Because he probably weighs 3 something.
Yeah.
And he's just jumping off, laying on top of people. Like, you got to have good knee support for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it takes a toll on the joints.
Yeah.
Next, we have this kind of weird Roman Reigns interview where he was asked about Shane picking his partner, and he said something to the effect of, well, they think they're playing mind games, but my team has mind games too, or something. But then there's this buzz going on during this whole interview, and as soon as the interview is over, he says thank you to Charlie, and he turns off camera and says something.
Yeah.
With a really annoyed look on his face.
I didn't catch that.
It's like someone had left the faucet on or something.
During
the interview, because you hear this shh in the background, and he looks over towards it and looks really annoyed and says something, but the mic doesn't pick it up.
Yeah.
And he turns back kind of towards his locker and starts shaking his head. So if anybody out there could read lips, I'm really interested to see what Roman said there.
The only thing I was thinking about was he said, "Sorry, Charlie," and that kind of made me laugh. And then he goes, I don't know if he said, "Thank you, Chuck." I don't know if he called her
thank you, but I don't know if he's... Seth Rollins calls her Chuck.
Yeah, I don't know if he said, "Thank you, Chuck." I think that's what I thought he said in my head. So then I'm like, while I'm watching, I go, "Thank you, Chuck." Sorry, Charlie. And then I didn't even notice that. I said that out loud to myself when I was watching it.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you, Chuck. Next, we had Ricochet taking on Doc Gallows. Ricochet had a promo beforehand. It was all right.
Yeah, not a lot of
ebb and flow.
Ebb and flow. That's like something I thought about. Maybe, I don't know, when you have to have a promo written out for you, and you have a long like segment,
Yeah.
Sometimes, like Seth can do it because he has the experience, but like it's hard to remember your beats for a promo and then remember your beats for the match. But luckily, he just kind of had to sell, and like Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, they're going to carry him for the match until he has to hit his stuff. And also, like, you have the ref there kind of feed in spots and whatnot. But yeah, I was just listening to his promo, and I just, it
wasn't bad. It was just, he doesn't have much to work with. It was just, he's recounting what happened the last 2 weeks.
It just sucked because, like, he had so much to say. He didn't really need to say a lot. And then when you had AJ come out, AJ goes, "Slow down, kid." Take in the moment. I'm like, I wonder if the slow down thing was like to tell him to slow down in the ring or just on the mic.
Well, then like the club comes out and AJ grabs the mic and he starts talking and he goes, "Let's see what happened last week" or something. And they throw it to a damn video package.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that.
No, you're just wasting time.
Totally.
Yeah. I would rather have him, Ricochet, say less and make it more impactful the way he says it.
Totally.
So people can understand better like what he's, because other than that, when you just talk in one tone, it doesn't sound like,
it doesn't sound believable.
Yeah. He's reciting stuff.
Exactly. He probably got that script like 5 minutes before he went.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which
this
is the
what
part
we want you to say, and then AJ can say whatever because AJ didn't have to say a lot.
Yeah.
He's able to make everything he said impactful.
He just throws the video package and cut back, and he's laughing. Like a lot of the club's tag matches over the recent weeks, Luke Gallows, Doc Gallows, has the upper hand. He starts goofing off, starts posing, throwing up 2 sweets, laughing about it. Picks up Ricochet for like a power slam or maybe a fall-away slam.
Oh, man, I love the way that Gallows was working in this match.
Yeah.
Because he did every big man trope in the match. Choke slam.
Yeah.
Big boot.
Yeah.
Like, puts him in a chin hold, does a little 12 to 6 elbow drops. Like, just straight big man stuff.
Picks him up for a slam of some sort. Ricochet escapes, reverses into a roll-up for the win. Of course, the club's not happy about that. AJ grabs a mic and says, during Ricochet's promo, he said he'll go through all three members of the club if he has to. AJ says, well, you said you're going to do that. So why don't you take on Carl Anderson next? Go to commercial, come back. Sure enough, we get Carl Anderson versus Ricochet. Here's the thing. This kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
I love Ricochet. I have a Ricochet t-shirt. It's one of my favorites. I feel like if he beats 2/3 of the club in consecutive matches on the same night, you don't really feel like the odds are stacked against him as much as they really should be going into a pay-per-view match. Now, if there's a situation where if you really want to get tons of heat on the club, in the first match, have it play out like that, have Ricochet get the roll-up, have Gallows kick out, and let Ricochet go on a bit of offense. He's on the verge of maybe winning. Ref distracted, club cheats, Gallows wins. Have AJ pick up the mic and says, oh, Ricochet, didn't you say you'd go through all of us to get to me?
That would have been great.
Well, guess what? You get to face Carl Anderson next.
Yeah.
And a similar situation where Ricochet comes back. He's on the verge of winning again. Maybe even hits the 630. He's pinning Carl Anderson. Something happens so the ref can't make the count. Mm-hmm. And again, club cheats. You get Carl Anderson picking up the win. Because then you get tons of heat in the club. They look legit as a unit because they're beating the U.S. champion. You get a ton of sympathy for Ricochet knowing, okay, he's got not just AJ has to beat at Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
All three of these guys.
Yeah, and he just showed that he just got demolished by them. But, you know, they didn't. And something else I noticed, like, I think it's hilarious the way AJ was taunting and, like, you know, how excited he was whenever Gallows or Carl was kicking the crap out of Ricochet. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, because then you see Ricochet go through the club, and then, okay, so then next segment you have Roman and some whoever as his Mysterio partner, and Roman can't beat Drew and
I know.
And
yeah,
Shane.
they didn't play that situation right.
Yeah,
either.
it was weird booking.
Yeah.
Cause so now it looks like Ricochet looks like he can kick anyone's ass.
Yeah.
And he goes to the club, and then, you know, just the club should just beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
Like Gallows, something could happen where Gallows got the upper hand.
Exactly.
And then, like you said, like, oh, you said you want to go through all of those. Then have Carl come out and do the same thing.
Yeah, AJ just makes the match regardless if Luke Gallows won. So Ricochet pins Carl Anderson after a 630. Not a huge surprise.
Yeah.
AJ gets in right as the bell rings, attacks Ricochet. Gallows joins as well. Gallows and Anderson hit a magic killer. And then AJ teases another second rope Styles clash, has him in position, and just drops Ricochet instead, grabs the mic, and says to Ricochet, I'm going to leave a little bit of you left for Extreme Rules so you have no excuses when I beat you. But stay down or you're going to get some.
I love that bit, too.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. He's not just going to, like, beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
More so than he's just so that, like, when they wrestle, it's, you know, he's not worn out too much.
Exactly. So the club leave. Start walking up the ramp. Ricochet pulls himself up. Club sees it. They go back down the ring. Gallows and Anderson hold up Ricochet. AJ hits him with a phenomenal forearm. I guess they tried to do the post-match beatdown to get the heel heat, but I don't know. I kind of feel like if they had really put Ricochet through the ringer, screwed him out of not one but 2 wins, it maybe would have accomplished a lot more. And it would have made the
saved
club
time
look like
too.
chumps.
It would have saved more time
Yeah.
for the main, because the main didn't go on long at all.
No, that was a super short main event.
Super short. Yeah, you know, it sucks because then they go back, they grab him, then AJ hits a phenomenal forearm. So it's like, okay, so I guess you really didn't leave that much left for him for the Extreme Rules. Because, like, you know, that's his finish.
Yeah.
You still hit him with a finish.
I know.
You know, so.
I know. After that, we had a cool video package for the Evolve 10th anniversary show coming up on the network, running head-to-head with Fight for the Fallen. Oh, man, that's Saturday. Oh, dear. There's a lot of wrestling this weekend.
Yeah.
But that'll be cool. That's cool that Evolve was getting some shine on WWE programming.
I like that, too. But they kind of tried to make it seem like, where did all the guys start out? They start at Evolve. That's where they all got their start.
Watch Evolve, NXT's NXT.
NXT's NXT.
So, yeah, I know. They were, unfortunately, they had to talk about Evolve through the prism of WWE, but I guess that's what they do.
And, like, I have friends that they've, they've flown and tried to get tryouts with Evolve to like get on the show. And, I mean, they're kind of like when I said about the how Impact, they kind of have their minds made up when people show up for those tryouts.
Yeah.
So it's like it's cool when you show up, but then it's like they don't take everybody. They'll only take 1 or 2 people, and you got to pay a lot of money just to get a tryout.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool, but they don't. It's hard to get on Evolve.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah. Next, we had more Drake Maverick and Renee Michelle backstage. They're back on the road cases, and then the one Renee's sitting on starts to move. Inside is R-Truth and the Super Tan Jack Daddy ref. They get out, exit the road case, and then Carmelo says, "Get him, Truth."
Weird.
I know, Drake and
This
Renee
is when I said it was cartoony.
Yeah, it really
that
was.
was extremely cartoony.
It really was. So Drake and Renee run. The ref hops on Truth's back. He starts chasing them, and Carmella follows.
Yeah.
And then we see Shane and Drew approach a janitor.
But they also, don't forget, they segued where they ran by Bailey
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Carmella said something or looked at Bailey a kind of a funny way.
Yeah.
Like, this is a segment she's involved in. Because I know they're really good friends, so I'm sure sure Bailey
it's kind of these.
yeah.
This is what I'm doing.
This is what I'm doing.
We see Shane and Drew approach a janitor backstage, and they're like, "Oh, this is our guy." After commercial, we come back. They're in a locker room or something, and Shane offers Gary, the janitor,
With the limp, man.
Yeah, with the limp.
Limping around, dude.
$5,000 to be Roman's partner. And then Drew's like, but hey, we're really well-known, public figures here.
Yeah.
We want to protect your identity. We'll put a mask on you. Shane's like, yeah, we'll get you a mask.
Man, I would love to have been extra that day, limping around. Been like, hey, I'm the janitor.
Yeah.
Get paid $5,000 to go out there and stand with Roman.
It's not a
great
bad deal.
opportunity.
That would be. So Gary, the janitor, says, cool, I'll do it, because $5,000. After that, first beat the clock challenge match. Bayley taking on Sarah Logan. Pretty decent match. Sarah Logan really trying to kill time when she could. In the end, though, Bayley pinned Sarah Logan after the sunset flip into the turnbuckle. Didn't even take a Bayley to belly.
No, I liked Sarah Logan. Like, she was in great shape, and I like her ring gear too. It looked awesome. But yeah, so this is something that kind of stood out to me. The match was 4 minutes and 32 seconds. It felt longer than that.
It really did.
But also when extras go to Raw or SmackDown, they have that amount of time to do a match. They can only do a 5-minute match. So to me, I was like, well, that's what I think they would expect to see in a 5-minute match when extras go out in there and do it.
Yeah.
And that's she went 4 minutes and 32 seconds. It felt long. You can see why a lot of matches don't go on long on Raw for that reason alone. But
it did feel long because she did a lot of killing time.
She did, yeah. Yeah.
Whereas the Nikki Cross versus Dana Brooke, Dana was actively killing time, going into the ringside area, high-fiving Bayley. And this match it was way shorter. Nikki wins after her twisting neck breaker finish at around 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So a minute 50 less than Bayley. Afterwards, Nikki grabs the mic, tells Bayley she doesn't understand what real friendship means. She's going to show Bayley that her and Alexa are real friends, because now it's 2-on-1 handicap match. And then Nikki says to Bayley, I hope you find a friend of your own.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I know. Someone to slap some sense into her. And then Bayley slaps Nikki, hits her with the Bayley to belly, and then a top rope elbow.
Yeah.
Bayley doesn't care to hug any longer. After that, another Mike and Maria backstage segment. And this is one where Maria tells Mike that he will never impregnate her again. And she's not entirely sure that he did it this time.
Oh, man. What?
We don't need a paternity angle going on in WWE Raw.
No, and it's funny because she's like, "You call me fat?" It's like, "Well, you're pregnant. You're gonna gain weight."
Yeah.
And then she'll never impregnate me again. I go, "Well, 2 kids is enough."
Yeah, 2 kids is a
2
lot,
kids is plenty.
especially if you're on the road. You got a full-time schedule. 2 kids is a lot.
Do they want a big family? Is what they talked about, and then all of a sudden she's getting really moody.
I don't know.
It's weird.
After that,
but also great quote when she said something, and then Mike goes, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
I was like, seriously, what are we doing?
That was great.
That was a great quote.
That was
what
very
are we
meta.
doing?
some meta stuff from Mike Kanellis.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Afterwards, Corey takes leave from the commentary booth to go backstage to interview Seth and Becky. This is slightly less awkward than what we saw last week, but it's wholly unnecessary. It's the whole thing where Corey's like, so is this going to affect your relationship, that if she gets pinned, you lose your belt and vice versa? And Becky's like, don't do that. Don't do this. You know, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to drive a wedge between us. I think you called her emo head.
Yeah, I like wrote it down. Emo head.
So stop what you're doing. Get out of here. And she leaves. And then Corey turns to Seth, and he's like, "What? Oh yeah, what she said."
With his geeky smile.
I know. He's such a nerd.
The cheesiest geeky smile.
Super nerd.
And then right when he left, Graves said something. I forget what he said.
Oh yeah, I said, "Oh, this is gonna implode."
This is gonna implode.
That's what he said.
And it's that, like, the way he said it sounded like the way he would have said it at the commentary table.
Yeah.
So at first I'm like, whoa, was that came from him? But it reminded me of him saying that, like, at
Yeah.
the commentary table. This is gonna implode.
This is gonna implode. After that, another Street Profits promo hyping up Extreme Rules. Again, it was fine. It was entertaining. I just feel like I would wish they'd be doing something more substantial.
They did the damn from the movie Friday.
Yeah.
And then they started borrowing other promo stuff.
Yeah.
And then it turned into, to me, it sounded like they're doing like Statler and Wardorf. But also, like, when you read like Greek mythology and they have the chorus.
The Greek chorus. That's totally what it was.
It felt like the Greek chorus.
Yeah,
like,
it's them
that's
commenting
the
on the action.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, when they had their first thing, that's the exact thing I thought too. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, Street Profits are going to be the Greek chorus of Raw now.
Yeah, they're the Greek chorus of Raw.
Yeah. And after that, we had our main event. Roman Reigns and Gary, the Goat Garbutt was the full name of the janitor, as introduced by Shane. Shane and Drew had a promo before the match. Drew talked some trash to Roman, talking about how he's going to beat that guy of him at Extreme Rules. This match was ridiculously short, and it played out kind of weird. So Drew tosses Roman shoulder first into the ring post, so he's out of the equation.
For a long time.
For the rest of the
short
match. Yeah. Shane, I think, tosses Gary in over the top rope, and then Gary starts wrestling exactly like someone we have seen before. One, Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
Hits all his moves, and then Drew lays out Gary with a Claymore. Shane covers him for the win. Roman gets back in the ring. He hits Drew with the Superman punch, and then Gary unmasks. Yep, it's Cedric Alexander, and Roman's like, "Hey, Cedric,
It was you?
that was pretty cool. You pulled that swerve on Shane.
Oh, goodness.
Too bad about not winning.
Oh, we didn't win. Oh, well.
How awesome would it have been if everything played out more or less how it did, however, but Cedric was actually actively involved in helping his team pick up the victory. Now,
What was
Cedric,
the point?
No, there's no point. There's no point
There was no point.
other than to get Cedric a little bit of TV time in the main event, which is cool because Cedric's great. I love him. But if you want his appearance to actually have some semblance of impact, he needs to be involved in a winning effort.
Yeah.
And then to have Roman be like, "Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
Big Dog's cool with this. Happy you wanted to help."
Yeah. You know, what's funny is when they made the reveal, no one really cared.
I mean, because he's you know what, Cedric Alexander?
Yeah, no one cared. But what's funny is the commentary team starts putting over Gary Garbutt's like accolades.
Yeah.
He, 5th grade spelling bee champion. I will say Cedric was really overselling that limp when he was walking
was.
out. And then Cole says, "Who is this dude?" Someone says, "Who's this dude?" during the match. I'm like, "There's another dude word."
Wow.
I was counting all the dude references.
There's all sorts
you're
of
not
dudes.
allowed to use the word dude. They should have never revealed who it was. It would have been funny if they did like a backstage segment, and then like he takes off the mask off screen. It comes and it's the original janitor guy. It's like, I did my best. I tried really hard.
Yeah.
But at least I get $5,000.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of cartoony.
Yeah.
I know I said it was a really cartoony episode, but man, double down on the cartoon.
Yeah, if you're gonna go cartoony, then at least
then stay cartoony.
have it go somewhere rather than just being a one-time thing.
I know. And then they reveal, like, Roman's like, "Yeah, who is it? Let me see Gary Garbutt over here. Let me take off his mask." "Oh, Cedric, you got tired of chasing that 24/7 title. You can be my friend,
Sure.
even though you lost. Who cares?
Yeah, it was
this
weird.
match didn't mean anything."
It didn't mean anything. It was just for momentum. And momentum means nothing going to Extreme Rules because it's like a shoo-in that Roman and Undertaker are going to win.
Yeah, that's
It's Undertaker's the match. Of course he's going to win.
yeah.
Anyways, it was a middle-of-the-road episode of Raw, but let's move on from Raw. Let's talk SmackDown. We have a preview. First item here, Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler's shortly tenured partnership implodes. This is going to implode. Yeah. Against their wishes, Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler were paired together as a tag team last Thursday night by Shane McMahon, and, well, it didn't turn out great. Though they were given a chance to earn their way into the SmackDown Tag Team title match Extreme Rules by defeating Heavy Machinery, KO and the Show-Off could not get on the same page. By match's end, Owens and Ziggler were trading fists with one another as opposed to Otis and Tucker. Tucky. SmackDown Live went off the air with KO dropping the Show-Off with a stunner, and in the aftermath of that, the two will collide in one-on-one competition tonight. Which superstar will continue to ascend the ranks on the blue brand? Find out on SmackDown Live TV.
I really hope we just get a super badass tweener face Kevin Owens.
Totally.
And
he beats Dolph in 2 minutes.
Yeah. How about this? You know what? Let's say Dolph goes in for a shot, and then Kevin Owens just hits him with a giant flying knee, just like what happened in UFC against Ben Askren and Mazadov, and just goes out and then covers with an easy pin.
There you go.
And that's the end of the match.
And that's it. Squash match. Sorry,
Squash
Dolph.
mask. Yeah.
Go back to doing stand-up comedy.
Go to the Laugh Factory
Exactly.
and start cutting comedy promo stuff. Whatever. Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura battle on the blue brand. Shinsuke Nakamura eyed up the Intercontinental Champion Finn Balor and assuming his title 2 weeks ago on SmackDown Live. Nakamura will now get up close and personal with Balor when the two face off tonight. Can the King of Strong Style topple the Extraordinary Man and cause a major ripple effect on the Intercontinental Championship picture?
Wow. Aleister Black's opponent for WWE Extreme Rules to be revealed. For weeks, Aleister Black has been begging for someone on SmackDown Live to knock on his door and pick a fight with him. Blah. Blah. Finally, someone answered the call 2 weeks ago, and tonight the WWE Universe will discover just who it was. Who will step to the Dutch Destroyer at WWE Extreme Rules? Tune in to SmackDown Live to find out.
It's Mojo Rawley, because he's in the room next to him staring in the mirror.
It could be.
And he's just
banging on his table.
Banging on the table. He's like, who will fight me? And Mojo's like, not now. I'm trying to talk in my mirror. You're distracting me.
I'm having a heart-to-heart with myself.
Having a heart-to-heart with myself. SmackDown Tag Team Championships Summit to take place. SmackDown Tag Team Champions Daniel Bryan and Rowan's mission to have the tag team division take center stage on Team Blue will enter its next phase tonight when the first ever SmackDown Tag Team Champions Summit takes place. Bryan Rowan, The New Day, and Heavy Machinery. The three teams will square off for the title at WWE Extreme Rules. Will all be present. Will tension rise just 5 nights before the major triple threat title match? Find out on SmackDown Live tonight, 8/7 Central.
Good stuff.
Yay.
Hopefully it'll be a fun episode.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, it's tonight.
A couple of stellar sounding matches. You get Owens and, well, that could be a good match, I guess.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
But Nakamura Balor should be solid.
That one I'm looking forward to. They've worked before?
Yeah, Finn's last match in NXT, I think, was against Nakamura, at least a televised one.
Yeah.
And then the house show, the SmackDown here, the dark match main event was Finn versus Nakamura. And even them, like, going through the motions, it felt it was still fun.
Yeah.
All right, question time. Amar QPR, can we please get a Larson and Cal workout video or Cal teaching Larson to bump? I got a bad neck. I shouldn't be bumping.
That's not, you don't need to do that. Well, I mean, you can go to, I mean, it sucks because Virgil Flynn's, they closed down, and that was
They closed the school too?
Yeah, I think they closed the school. I know, it sucks. But, it's tough because not everybody wanted to coach.
Yeah.
And everyone's busy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It sucks because it would have been fun to, like, go in the ring and do some stuff.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately, that's,
yeah.
unless you want to go all the way to Concord.
Not really.
Yeah, so.
My neck's pretty, when I was right out of college, I had a lot of neck problems.
Yeah.
And so I go see the doctor, and they do x-rays. And he's looking at the x-rays, and he's like, this is a quote. Your neck really looks like shit.
Oh, my goodness.
So apparently I have a couple of fused vertebrae up in here. I think C4, C5 on the side. He says it's congenital. However, there was a point in college where a friend of mine, who's not much smaller than you, had my head trapped underneath my body with all his body weight on it. And I never had neck issues before that moment.
Oh, man, what a dick.
Well, he didn't mean to do it.
I know, but
you're just goofing off in college, wrestling around.
Yeah.
What they say in WWE, don't try this at home.
Yeah,
We should have
yeah.
listened.
That's tough.
So it might have been from that. It might have been congenital. It might have been a combination thereof. Who knows? Brian Jankowski, what was the original storyline that got you hooked into wrestling? For Brian, it was around Survivor Series 98. Best pay-per-view of all time, in my estimation.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's necessarily a storyline. Just when I was probably 7, I found it on TV, and it was weird. And there was guys in their underwear fighting, and people cheered, and it was over the top and silly and fun, and I loved it. The one storyline I really remember growing up more than any other was Andre Hogan, not the WrestleMania 3 one, but when Andre got the belt on the Saturday Night Main Event, and then sold it to DiBiase prior to WrestleMania 4. That's the storyline. I know that was a couple years after I actually started watching wrestling, but that's like the one storyline I really remember from that era.
Yeah. I wasn't really hooked as a kid, but I do remember my earliest memory. My parents bought me a King Macho Man Wrestle Buddy.
Nice.
And I've had it forever. And then I think my parents bought this like Suburban, and like it was already previously owned by some other family.
Yeah.
So they bought the Suburban, but this family installed like a TV.
Oh, wow.
So there was like, and this is like 96. And I remember like flicking through the channels when we were leaving the car dealership, and like there was a WWF match that was going on, and I'm not really sure who it was. It was like Triple H for somebody, but that was kind of like my first like real experience. Like I got to watch my first like real pro wrestling match, and like acknowledge it in 1996.
Yeah.
In a car.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
That is
I
cool.
forget what it was. It was, something. 96, 97.
Yeah.
Somewhere around that time.
Like, I'm always convinced the first match I ever saw was the Bulldogs against the Killer Bees, but I don't know if that's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just two very distinct tag teams. I know it was a tag team match.
Yeah.
And those are two of the more distinctive tag teams of that era. Dom L. Sarah Logan finally came out of hiding last night. Could a SmackDown Live premiere be in the works?
I think Sarah Logan's a little bit more distinct. Like, she kind of has all her ducks in a row more when it comes to wrestling. I don't know what they're going to do with Liv. If she's going to come out tonight. I know I talked about that yesterday. I don't know. Hopefully, it'd be cool, Just, I don't know what they want to do with her. One thing that got me was, okay, they'd separate the Riot Squad.
Yeah. Yeah. Why does she still have the Tron?
Yeah, I'm like, wait, she should have her own music and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so fun fact, in NXT, they go through the music a lot before they even film.
Yeah.
And they do anything. Like, I remember in the ring, they're trying to figure out music for Sami Zayn. And they would play all this stuff to try to figure out what music fits Sami the best. And Sami actually had a lot of input on what he wanted to do. It was between him and Triple H. So they're playing music and stuff. They have so much stuff they can use to like for music. And I just felt I was lazy that like, oh, we'll just have her have the Riot Squad stuff. When it doesn't fit anything that she wears and how she looks.
Or a character at all.
Character-wise, it doesn't fit at all. So it should have been something like Viking-esque or something like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, yeah.
They could have done that, but no.
Yeah, or something super metal or something.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, no, it is
That
kind of
bummed me
lazy.
out.
Joe Juarez, ahoy, just want to say Cal Jack has been great.
Oh, shucks.
I agree, Joe.
Thank you.
Cal Jack has been awesome. He is awesome.
I'm just doing my best.
You're doing great, man.
Oh, thanks.
Blade Sinclair, AJ called Joe dude when he was at his home during the feud. That's right.
So there you go.
There you go. I guess
Dude.
that's one rule that has...
But Michael Cole said dude twice.
Yeah, that's weird.
Cole doesn't say dude. I can see AJ saying dude because maybe he didn't know not to say the word dude.
That could be. I remember him saying it when Joe, I think it was when Joe was outside of his house.
Yeah.
About to go in.
Oh, yeah.
And it seemed out of place. Like, don't go in there, dude.
Don't go in there, dude.
That's weird. Dude's not a strong enough word, I don't feel like.
Yeah.
Rex Riot, thank you. Nick C says, move over, Daniel Bryan. There's a new goat in town. Rex Riot, again, thank you. Haven Elric, making an 8-hour drive to wrestle. The grind is real, friendos.
Yeah, I've done that before. Me and Mayhem, we drove
Arizona, right?
To Arizona.
Yeah.
13 hours.
Yeah.
I think it was 13. It might have been longer than that.
To Tucson, right?
To Tucson, all the way
Yeah.
southern Arizona. And
That's a long drive.
it was long, and he loves K-pop.
Oh gosh.
So whenever he drove, we listened to a lot of K-pop. When I drove, I just had my I had headphones on, just like zoning out.
Yeah.
Because he was asleep. Oh, we talk and we chit chat. I was chit chatting with the champ, as he likes to say. But 8 hours, man. That's about normal. I did an 8-hour drive to SoCal, and then I drove to Concord, and then I had another show that same night in Concord and Pacifica.
Oh man.
And then I had another match in Oxnard on the same. So I had a show on Saturday. Then I show on Friday in LA.
Yeah.
Then I drove Saturday to Concord, did a match in Concord. That same night, drove to Pacifica, did a match there. And then me and Jody Christopherson drove to Oxnard
Oh my gosh.
on Sunday
Oh my
to do a
gosh.
lucha show. Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is nuts. I felt like crap after that weekend. But it's like they say, you got to do what you got to do, pay your dues. I'm like, man, that's the last time I'm ever doing that. And like a lot of the bigger name indie guys, they get flown around a lot.
Yeah.
And they know how to like adjust their time, and they're used to it. One guy who does that a lot is like Funny Bone.
Mm-hmm.
Funny Bone lives in Vegas. He drives from Vegas to the Bay a lot. He told me this one time. He drove from Vegas to Santa Maria, from Santa Maria to Oregon, and then from Oregon to Canada, then Canada back to another show in Santa Maria.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I don't know if exactly that's it, but that's what he did that.
That's crazy.
Vegas to Oakland. No, that's what it is. Vegas, Oakland, Canada back to Santa Maria.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I asked him, like, how do you do that? And he goes, I take showers at, I stop and I'll take a shower at, like, Planet Fitness or, like, some, truck stop or whatever, just to keep awake and refresh.
That's crazy.
And so, yeah, man, good luck on your 8-hour drive. Just, hey, by the way, if you guys do ever travel long distances and you're tired, pull over.
Yeah.
I had some friends that work at Hood Slam. They did a show in Spokane.
Mm-hmm.
They drove all the way to Spokane, did a couple shows. One of the person behind the wheel fell asleep, and there was like car had like 4 or 5 people in it.
Oof.
He falls asleep. Everyone else is asleep. He pulls off on the side of the road. Not pulls off, but like his car veers off. They roll a couple times. Luckily, no one got seriously hurt, but one of the people in the back seat, Shakira Spears, who was on, she was on Raw, I think.
Okay.
It was her and, no, she was Lisa Lace. She was Lisa Lace and Amelia Sweets. I don't know.
Yeah.
She was the girl in the car, and so she got, she had to go to the hospital after that. Luckily, she's fine now. But when we travel on the road, that's something that a lot of people don't realize is that, a lot of guys, they don't stay in hotels. They're trying to like save their money. They're trying to like get to wherever as fast as they can so they can get home, sleep in their own beds.
Yeah.
So good luck on your 8-hour drive. Be safe.
Yes.
Don't rely on energy drinks to get you through those drives.
Yeah.
If you need to sleep, pull over, take a sleep, take a shower, do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
It's tough, scary.
Yeah. Agreed. Alex Foster here on Patreon. What other disguises should wrestlers wear to get in matches? I want to see like a Metal Gear Solid thing where someone like is under a box.
Yeah.
And walks down the ramp.
Does a Snake Plissken.
Does it all sly like. No one notices.
What was I going to say? That's like when they had the match with, you had Fandango and Tyler Breeze.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyler Breeze was it was like they were taking on the Usos.
Oh, yeah.
And he did like a bunch of like, he was able to switch out of like disguises in between spots.
Yeah, that was
Tyler
funny.
Breeze is great.
Oh, he's outstanding. Outstanding. Next, James Francis. What is the ceiling for a Cesaro push? World title? Whoops. Sorry about that. WWE, I don't think so because they want more personality out of their wrestlers. If he were to go someplace else, yeah.
How much more time does he have on his contract?
I have no idea.
Because he'd be AEW
Probably
right away.
They would probably, back up the Briggs truck for him.
Yeah, they would. Because I think Cody has a lot of respect for Cesaro.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee, like, if his contract ran up, he'd go, him and Sean Spears, kind of the same scenario, go to AEW. That man would be unleashed.
Oh, imagine Cesaro versus Kenny Omega.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Oh,
man.
that's. Can that happen?
I know. I want that to happen, please. Yes, please.
That would be amazing.
Thayer Thabata. Cal, admit it. You are the father of Maria's child. We do a paternity test. Cal,
I guess
you
we could.
are not the father.
She's very pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be tough. But then I don't want to. Man, I'd be that guy that broke up a marriage.
Yeah,
I feel horrible. You know what? Here's the thing.
That's not a good situation.
A lot of the wrestlers will get really mad at me because they're like big about that. Because if you're sleeping around with one of the boys' wife or girlfriend, no one's gonna want you around.
Yeah, cause trouble backstage.
Cause a lot of trouble backstage. Leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. That's not good.
James Rodriguez, I really like Cedric's inclusion in the main event, but do you feel like it would have been more impactful for him if he'd pulled a surprise win over Shane or Drew? Absolutely. Even a sneaky roll-up pin on Shane would have been huge for Cedric.
Yeah, okay. That reminds me. Let's not forget that you had Eli Everfly get a roll-up victory on The Miz when it was The Miz versus Shane McMahon. And you had Keita Murray, who's also on the apron, who I got to wrestle like a few weeks later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happened. So why couldn't they do something like that, Is because The Miz wasn't... they didn't have The Miz to do that with?
It would have been... Yeah, who'd have thought that someone on the actual main roster can't get a win when someone they bring in?
Yeah.
Dom L, I'm starting to get the impression that Cal isn't as anti-Liv as I thought he was last week. Criticism retracted. You've never been anti-Liv.
Not anti-Liv. I just think she needs to do something creative-wise. I mean, you can go watch her promos and like her. And here's the thing: I was in promo class with Liv. I know how she carries a tone. I just something that she needs to work on. She's a really sweet girl. She's really nice. I'm just saying, if I was her, I'd watch. What's her name? What was the girl's name I mentioned? Margot Robbie. Yeah, I say go watch Margot Robbie stuff for her to like get an idea of like how to carry a tone in her character.
Yeah,
because she's very green, like as far as like promo stuff goes. So when I saw her I thought she was going to be in NXT a lot longer.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too.
But they kind of threw her up because I guess they saw a role for her she didn't really need to be great on the mic.
Yeah, and they weren't really doing anything with her in NXT.
Yeah, so a lot of times they'll just put people on the main just to see if they can sink or swim.
Yeah.
She, like I said, she's a great wrestler, but I just think she needs, just for longevity purposes, she needs to work on something character-wise.
Yeah, totally. Jeffrey Nguyen, Sour Patch Kids for long trips help.
Yeah, like Kalisto in the Sour Patch commercial. I'm sure he eats a bunch of those.
Let me see. We'll do a couple more questions. James Fletcher says, be sad to see you leave, Cal. Any chance he'll be back for more Going in Raw? Yeah.
We'll see.
You're welcome anytime.
Anytime. But yeah, anytime. The one thing I do want to do is more Friendo Road.
Yes.
And if, like, the chances if I have, like, a decent big match, I would love to come here and film promos.
Totally.
And then have that put on, like, Going in Raw or just something I could have shareable. Because you guys haven't really seen me cut a promo like the way I like to do it for Grizzly Cowjack. More or less I'm talking like myself.
Mm-hmm.
I like to have ebb and flow.
Ebb and flow.
Ebb and flow.
Ebb and flow. Dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
Mondo Vulgare, 2 years ago, Braun Strowman, this will be our last question. 2 years ago, Braun Strowman was considered a potential face of the company. His star has fallen considerably since then, but do you think he could at least be turned around enough to still be a perennial main eventer, or has that ship sailed? What's Braun's ceiling of the next few years?
Well, the way he carries a promo and the way from what I hear, how he carries himself backstage, I think he's at his peak right now. But if he could, that's like when he was on the Stone Cold podcast, he sounded extremely personable.
Yeah.
And he sounded like a real dude. And Braun is a real dude. Like, I know him as his real name, Adam Shearer. Like, he's a great guy. He's charismatic. He can cut a promo just being himself. But when you have him out there talking like this, saying you're going to get these hands, it just kind of pigeonholes his character.
Yeah.
It just pigeonholes him as a person. And he's done cutesy stuff with like the mixed match challenge with Alexa Bliss. And that's a weird way to like try to humanize him.
It is, but as far as, because I think part of the thing with Becky and Seth, I don't know if it's the intention to try to humanize them a bit more. But that's the scenario I don't really want to see it, especially for Becky.
Yeah.
But with Braun, they really towed this line pretty well where they humanized him. But he, at the time, he was still in the midst of destroying everything.
Yeah.
And it added a little bit of dimension to his character that I felt was kind of necessary because in a lot of respects, Braun's at his best when he's just destroying things.
Yeah.
When he's tearing down the set, turning over semi-trucks. That's when he's at his best.
Yeah.
That's what people want to see is him destroy things. And just if that's all he was, he'd be real in danger of being super one-dimensional. And at the end of the day, people would stop caring.
I know what sucks is that a lot of his momentum got stopped because he just wasn't clicking with Brock like he should have.
No. And that weird heel turn.
Yeah, it didn't feel right. He had a weird heel turn. He wasn't clicking with Brock.
Brock almost knocked him out.
Yeah, hit him in the head. I will say, I remember you guys talked about that. It wasn't cool Brock did it, but I can see why he cocked him.
Oh, I understand. He thought Braun stiffed him.
It looked like, dude. And here's like another weird thing. I think Brock had UFC in the back of his head.
Oh, he might have.
So like he doesn't want to get hurt.
Yeah.
That's why he was afraid to do stuff with Dean Ambrose.
Probably.
So when he got hit with that knee, I'm like, man, that sucks.
Yeah.
But he cold cocked him, and then you hear him say, "Slow down."
Yeah.
But I think that might have been
because
they replayed that moment so many times, so they knew the scenario of when Brock decked him in the head. I'm sure.
As bad as it was for Braun during that time, imagine what would happen if Brock knocked him out cold in the middle of a main event.
Yeah.
That'd have been push over.
Well, I think Brock probably didn't. He hit him hard, but I don't think he hit him like, I've been hitting this side of the head before in the match. It sucks. Like taking like a kick, it hurts, but I don't think Brock could have really put as much force.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he clipped Randy Orton lightly in the chin and knocked him out.
Yeah.
So luckily it was in whatever Braun's hard spot of his head.
Yeah.
But I think Braun's kind of, I don't know, man. They need to do something with him, but I don't see it anytime soon. I mean, he is. I think they wrote him off because of an injury, but I guess not because now he's going to wrestle.
And it's weird because like when they did that bit where Braun put Lashley through the LED boards, like, oh, they're going to have Braun destroy things again.
Yeah,
because that's when everybody loved him.
Yeah,
but they do that, and then he's the one that gets hurt.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
And then I hear rumors like, oh, they did that so that they can have a new like platform or like entrance way.
Oh yeah, they're getting a new stage or something like that.
New stage, and that was their way of doing it. But no, same old stage.
Well, everybody, thanks for joining us. Patrons and YouTube channel members, stay tuned. We'll be back in a little bit for Overrun. Until then, though, we'll talk to y'all later.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Be a part of Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Starting at $1 a month, you can enjoy Going In Raw ad-free, gain access to the daily 30-minute Going In Raw post show, exclusive merchandise, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.